A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+. English, because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Hello and welcome to A+. My name is Reese.
我是 Ignis.
And today is day 2 of our trip to Xincheng in Hualien. So before Tanya and Monica, they went there and they tried some lemon juice. What else did they do?
I think they went to a special place, a photo studio.
That's right. It used to be a photo studio, but now it's a museum.
Museum, that's right.
That's cool. Well, today's warm-up question is this. Do you like to visit churches or temples? Why or why not?
I can say I do, but also cannot say I don't.
Okay.
Because I think churches and temples are special places. They are very 庄严, like solemn for people. So I don't know how to describe my feelings.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I mean, whenever I travel to a new country, I usually will spend some time visiting temples or other religious buildings. When I came to Taiwan, I was excited to go to places like Bao'angong and...
But do you like the atmosphere or the architecture there?
Both. I really like the architecture because it's very different from European-style churches,
that's right.
which are stone and grey and beautiful in their own way. But temples are usually very colorful and have interesting designs and animals and dragon doors and tiger doors. Yeah, it's very interesting to me. Well, you guys can think about this too. Do you like to visit temples or churches or other religious buildings? But for now, let's get into day 2 of our article.
Discover Taiwan.
Tanya and Monica's trip to Xincheng, Hualien. Warm-up question. Do you like to visit churches or temples? Why or why not? Tanya and Monica walked to Xincheng Catholic Church.
The city built this church in 1956.
The building's special shape is like Noah's Ark. It was a large boat in the Bible.
Wow! I can't really see the building though. Plants are covering it.
Can I take photos inside?
Yes, but be quiet and polite.
They see the church and then walk to Xincheng Seawall.
We can take some good photos here.
Yes, we can lean at an angle on these stones.
The breeze from the sea is nice.
You're right. But I want to get a snack.
Of course you do.
The building's special shape is like Noah's Ark. The building looks like Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark was the model for this building. The breeze from the sea is nice. I like this sea breeze. There's a nice breeze from the sea. Word power. Building. Building. Taipei 101 is a famous building in Taiwan. It has 101 floors. Taipei 101 is a famous building in Taiwan. It has 101 floors. Plant. Plant. Sebastian put a lot of plants and flowers in his garden. Sebastian put a lot of plants and flowers in his garden. Cover. Cover. Many pictures cover the walls of Gretchen's bedroom. Many pictures cover the walls of Gretchen's bedroom. Polite. Polite. Polite people say please and thank you when they talk to others. Polite people say please and thank you when they talk to others.
认识字汇
Lean. Breeze.
Okay, so today's article begins again by setting the scene. It tells us that Tanya and Monica walk to Xincheng Catholic Church. Okay, so what's a Catholic church?
Catholic, I think it's like a Christian, 就是天主教 and 基督教, but most people are confused about these two religions.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah, Christianity is a broad term. I think there are many different kinds of Christianity. One of them is Catholicism.
That's right.
And there's like Church of England and Protestant. It's very complicated.
Yeah, very complicated.
Well, the article continues and Monica says, the city built this church in 1956.
文章里面呢，首先就说了 Tanya 跟 Monica 走向新城天主堂。接着文章里面提到 Monica 她就说了，这个城市在1956年建造了这座教堂。
It's a little bit surprising to me because Christianity and Catholicism are typically Western religions.
But in Taiwan, about the history, some Aborigines, they have the faith of Catholicism. Yeah.
Okay, I guess it must have come with the travelers and the settlers from the West.
And they used to be poor, so they were really taken good care of by the priests, I think.
Right, and the church is still there today.
That's right.
Cool. Well, the article continues with Tanya, and she says, the building's special shape is like Noah's Ark. It was a large boat in the Bible. Okay, I know the story of Noah's Ark.
Me too.
Yeah, there was a big flood and Noah wanted to save the animals, so he brought all the animals onto the boat.
In pairs.
In pairs. The animals come on 2 by 2. Well, let's talk about a word here. Let's talk about building. Building is a noun, even though it looks like a verb, but it can be a verb too. And a building is any kind of structure with a roof and walls. A school is a building, a house is a building, a shop is a building, and yes, a church is a building too. There are so many kinds of buildings, and the verb to build is used when we talk about making a building or other large things like bridges.
没有错。文章里面呢，汤雅他就说了，这建筑物特殊的形状就像诺亚方舟，它是圣经里面一艘很大的船。现在呢，我们就来看看我们今天第一个 word power， 那就是 building。好，首先第一个 word power 我们看到这个字呢叫做 building 建筑物，那这个字结尾的 ing 有那么一点点像动名词的概念，所以它是一个名词，而且是可数名词，表示建筑物啊或者是房屋。那如果我们把 building 这个字的 ing 拿掉，它就变成动词 build。那这边要提醒同学，这个字因为后面是 bu， 很多人会念成 bu 是不对的，它是 bu， 它是加 i 的这个母音，所以是 build。建筑或者是建造，它的三态变化也很特别 build d， 然后过去式跟过去分词都是把 d 变成 t built。那给你一个句子 He built a house for his wife， 他替他老婆盖了一栋房子。另外呢，例句里面提到了 Taipei 101 is a famous building in Taiwan. It has 101 floors. 台北101是一座台湾有名的建筑物，它有101层。
Taipei 101 used to be the tallest building in the world.
But it's not anymore.
No.
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
Yeah, I think Dubai now has the tallest, the Burj Khalifa.
That's right.
Well, the article continues with Monica, and she says, wow, I can't really see the building though. Plants are covering it. Okay, so let's talk about some grammar points here. She can't see the building because of the plants. We have a contraction here. A contraction is when two words are pressed together to make one word. The contraction Monica used was can't, which is a combination of the words can and not. Other contractions include won't, will and not, could've, could and have, and I'll. I and will. Gosh, we get very lazy in English.
That's true indeed. 好，文章里面呢 Monica 就说了，哇，我无法真的看到这建筑物，植物们将建筑物都覆盖起来了。这边有一个字can't 或者像刚刚 Rhys 老师的英式发音 can't 都是可以的，它是助动词后面加原形动词。这个字呢，同学你要小心了 can't 或是 can't 这个字呢，不能、不会、不可以都可以。例如这边给你几个句子，他们打不开这个箱子，我们可以说 They can't open the box。但同时这句英文如果没有上下文的解释，你也可以解读成他们不能打开这个箱子 They can't open the box。所以这边我们就先进 Word Power 看看另外一个字 plant 的用法吧。好，我们看到我们今天第二个 word power， 那就是 plant 当成名词来用，叫做植物。那同学应该也很熟悉 plant 这个字呢，也可以当动词，表示种植的意思。例如我们可以说 Laura planted some trees in her garden。 Laura 在她的花园里面种了一些树木。另外呢，我们就看到了 Sebastian put a lot of plants and flowers in his garden。 Sebastian 呢放了很多的植物跟花朵在他的花园里面。
We have another vocabulary word, and it is the verb to cover. And it means to put something on top of, over, or in front of something else so that it is safe or hidden. If you cover something, it might be because you want to protect it, like the way you might cover your ears with your hands if there's a loud noise. Covering things can also keep them hidden so you can't see them. For example, you might cover your baby brother's eyes if something scary happens. You could also cover something to keep it warm. At night in the winter, you probably cover yourself with covers or a quilt. It keeps you warm and cozy in bed.
没有错。这边呢，我们就先进 Word Power 看 cover 这个字的用法吧。好，我们今天第三个 word power 这个字就是 cover， 当成动词来用，表示覆盖或盖住的意思。那 cover 这个字呢，不管是覆盖或是隐藏或掩藏，都有把东西盖起来的感觉。像这边有一个句子 She laughed to cover her embarrassment。 她用笑容来掩盖她的尴尬。例句里面提到了 Many pictures covered the walls of Gretchen's bedroom。 有很多的照片覆盖在 Gretchen's 卧室的墙壁上面。
Well, then the article continues, and it's Tanya, and she says, "Can I take photos inside?" And Monica responds, "Yes, but be quiet and polite." That's very important. Yeah. There are some places where you go, like temples or museums, where they don't let you take photos.
You know, actually, people in this place, they don't like to be taken photos. Yeah.
I heard if you go to like a Buddhist temple, it's quite rude to take photos of statues of the Buddha.
Especially in Japan.
Yeah. So don't do that. But here it's okay. So here's a word. It's polite, and it's always important to be polite. Polite is an adjective, and it describes a way of behaving. That's how we do things and act in life. To be polite means to act in a respectful and responsible way, being nice to people, saying please and thank you, and generally thinking about other people and the way things that you do could affect them. Polite people hold doors open for other people. They speak nicely to strangers, and they talk quietly on the metro, and they are not mean to people. It's very important to be polite. It makes you and other people feel good.
文章里面呢，汤雅就说了，我可以在里面拍照吗？接着 Monica 就说可以，但是要小声点跟有礼貌。这边我们先进 Word Power 来看这个字 polite 的用法吧。好，今天这个 word power polite 相信大家应该蛮熟悉的，它是当形容词来用，表示有礼貌的。例如他帮我开门真是有礼貌，我们就可以讲成 It is polite of him to open the door for me。 另外呢 polite 是有礼貌，那不礼貌怎么说呢？我们在它的前面加上 I am 这两个字，就变成否定 impolite 不礼貌的。另外例句里面说到了 polite people say please and thank you when they talk to others。 有礼貌的人在跟别人说话的时候会说请和谢谢。
Well, then the article continues and it tells us about where they are, and they see the church and then walk to Xincheng Sea Wall. And then Tanya says, we can take some good photos here.
文章里面就说了，他们看了教堂，然后走向新城海堤。汤雅呢，接着就说，我们在这边可以拍一些好看的照片。
A sea wall. Well, I'm from a beach town, and we do have a sea wall as well. It's kind of like a long stone wall.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to protect the town from like storms and
like
big waves.
Oh, big waves. Yeah, that's right.
And I think Taiwan gets some pretty big waves, especially on the east coast.
That's right. I live in Ilan, so I'm familiar with that.
Wow, and there's people go surfing there, right?
In
So
Toucheng.
Toucheng, yeah. Well, the article continues with Monica, and she says, yes, we can lean at an angle on these stones. Okay, so what does that mean? Lean at an angle. Before we talk about the word angle, let's talk about lean. L-E-A-N. It's a verb, and to lean means to be or move in a sloping position. That means not straight up, but leaning to the side. Things usually lean on other things, otherwise they'd fall over. You can lean against a wall, you can lean on your friend's shoulder. Things can lean too. If you're cycling through the city and want to stop at 7-Eleven, you might quickly lean your bike up against the wall. Make sure it doesn't fall down though.
文章里面呢 Monica 就说了，没有错，我们可以斜靠在这些石头上面来拍照。这边这个动词呢 lean, L-E-A-N, 它是表示倾斜啊，或是倚靠啊，或是斜靠的意思。
One very famous building in Italy is called the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
That's right.
Yeah.
比萨斜塔。
Right, it's kind of like wonky. Another word we have was angle. So what's angle? Angle is a noun, and an angle is the point where two lines meet, kind of like a corner. Angle is a word we use a lot in math, and angles can be measured in degrees. If you have two lines that meet like this, they are creating a 90-degree angle. By saying that they can lean at an angle, Monica is saying that they can position their bodies in a way that means they are not standing straight. Their bodies are creating an angle against the stones. So in the context of the article, angle isn't being used so much in a mathematical way. It's more a way of saying not straight.
没有错。这一个字呢 angle 它当成名词角度。文章里面这个说法 at an angle 就是指你斜靠着，没有说站着直直的拍照，用一种斜斜的一种特定的角度来拍这个照片。
I think this is one of the most often misspelled words in English.
Angle, ankle.
Yeah? Or angel. Yeah. So many people, they write angel, which is A-N-G-E-L. Angle is A-N-G-L-E. Make sure you get it right. The article continues with Tanya, and she says, the breeze from the sea is nice. Oh, it sounds so relaxing. Breeze, it's a really lovely word. Right. Some words just sound nice.
Yes.
A breeze is a soft, light wind. If you say it's windy outside, the wind might be quite strong and blow leaves into your face. But if you say there is a breeze, that means there's a nice, cool flow of air outside that is comfortable. A nice breeze on a hot summer day can make it feel a bit cooler.
文章里面呢，汤雅就说了，来自海边的微风很舒服。breeze 这个字呢，像刚刚老师讲的，它听起来就是一个蛮舒服的单字，它的意思呢也很舒服，就是微风，例如夏日的微风啊，等等等，就是 breeze 的意思。
Taiwan being an island, I think it gets a lot of nice breezes, but also some strong winds, like typhoons. Well, then the article carries on with Monica, and she says, you're right. But I want to get a snack. And then Tanya replies, of course you do. So let's talk about what Tanya just said. She said, of course. It seems like Tanya knows Monica very well. When Monica said, I want to get a snack, Tanya said, of course you do. Here, of course just means yes, but it's different from yes in a small way. When we say of course, we are saying yes about something that should have been very obvious. That means easy to know. Of course is a strong yes, and we use it to express strong agreement. Here, Tanya is saying of course, probably because she knows that Monica always wants to get snacks. Or Tanya could be strongly agreeing with the idea of getting a snack, in which case she might say it like this. Of course.
没有错，文章里面呢 Monica 就说了，你说的没有错，但我想吃点点心。接着 Tanya 就说，你当然想吃。这边这个片语 of course 它就是很强烈表示要或者是的意思，我们把它翻成一定或是当然。例如 Do you want some ice cream? Of course 当然要一些冰淇淋啊。另外关于 of course 更多的用法，我们就记 Magic Box 请讲师为我们解释吧。
It's the holiday season. Of course, there will be a lot of events coming up. 现在是12月圣诞节啦，一定呢会有很多不同的活动，不管是这个聚餐啦、应酬啦，还是折扣啦。哎呀，像是呢这个我星座专家我本人哦，我呢最爱呢趁这个时候呢找家人朋友一起来聚餐，一起展望2021了。但是啊，开心之余呢，还是要提醒大家，不管你是什么星座，都要勤洗手、戴口罩咯。当然了 ，OK， 英文里面呢，我们可能都学过这句 ，of course， 当然一定是怎么样的。但是啊，其实它在不同状况下呢，会有不同的语气，我们呢要特别小心使用，不要呢无形之中就得罪人咯。首先呢，我们 of course 呢可以用在这个表示肯定或是允许做什么事情。比方说啊，有人问你说 ，Can I join your game？ 我可以加入你们的比赛吗 ？Of course you can join us。你当然可以加入我们啦。这个时候呢，你可以换成 sure，OK， 比较轻松，也是当然的意思。或是呢，像是 certainly、absolutely 这些副词呢，也有当然、一定啊这样子的意思了。You can certainly join us， 你当然可以加入我们了。那第二种情境的 of course 呢，则是表示接受或是同意对方说的话。比方说啊，有人要谢谢你呢，帮他忙啊 ，Thanks for helping me， 谢谢你帮我啊。Of course, I'm happy to help。当然咯，我很乐意帮忙的。这个时候呢，你可以换成这个 no problem， 没问题啊，小事别客气咯，这样子的概念。那最后一种呢，我们记得就要特别小心了那就是呢，当你讲 of course 的这个当然这边呢是表示，这个是常识啊，大家都知道的事情，还需要你说吗？Alex got sick at work today. 今天Alex 在办公室呢不太舒服，生病了。He went home, of course. 所以呢，他当然就回家了，理所当然了。那为什么会得罪人呢？比方说有人问你了 ，Have you read that book? 你读过那本书了吗 ？Of course. 是啊，我当然读过了。你可能觉得呢这有什么问题呢？但这边呢就跟语气很有关系了。这边呢我们回答 of course 就有点像是当然咯，哇，怎么可能没看过？这么理所当然是，这天下到底谁还没看过？你是觉得我住在山洞里吗？这个时候呢说 of course 就有点这个捡到枪在呛人的感觉咯。所以呢，中文呢一样是当然，但是呢 of course 怎么用，你可要小心点咯。
Thank you, Magic Box. That's all for the article today. So let's go over to our review time activity.
Review time.
So for today's review activity, I thought we could just talk about a few of our word power words and maybe some examples of things that fit that word. So one of our words was plant, right? Which is something that you can grow.
That's right.
Do you know the name of the place where you can go to see different kinds of plants growing.
I think the place in Chinese is like 植物园, so we can see many plants there. But the English word for 植物园should be...
It's very difficult. It's botanical garden.
Botanical garden, okay, 就是植物园的意思.
Yeah. So in London, there's a very famous one called Kew Gardens. And they have different kinds of plants from all over the world. It's kind of like a museum for plants.
Oh, great. So do you like plants?
Oh, I mean... I like to eat some plants. Onions and potatoes, I guess, are kinds of plants. Do you have like a favorite flower or something?
Roses. I used to plant roses. Yeah.
玫瑰花?
Yeah, but it's more like English roses. Like they are not very typical to the normal roses we see in the market.
I'm not sure I'm responsible enough to be able to grow plants because you have to be very particular with different kinds of plants about how often you water them and how much food you give them, right?
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So maybe you guys can think about plants and what your favorite kinds of plants are. Flowers, bushes, trees. There are so many different kinds. And I think Taiwan has some special plants too. That are endemic to Taiwan. That means they only grow here.
Yes.
But for today, that's all we have. My name is Reese.
I'm Ignis.
We'll see you next time.
Discover Taiwan.
Tanya and Monica's trip to Xincheng, Hualien. Warm-up question. Do you like to visit churches or temples? Why or why not? Tanya and Monica walked to Xincheng Catholic Church.
The city built this church in 1956.
The building's special shape is like Noah's Ark. It was a large boat in the Bible.
Wow! I can't really see the building though. Plants are covering it.
Can I take photos inside?
Yes, but be quiet and polite.
They see the church and then walk to Xincheng Seawall.
We can take some good photos here.
Yes, we can lean at an angle on these stones.
The breeze from the sea is nice.
You're right. But I want to get a snack.
Of course you do.
The building's special shape is like Noah's Ark. The building looks like Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark was the model for this building. The breeze from the sea is nice. I like this sea breeze. There's a nice breeze from the sea.
Word power.
Building. Building. Taipei 101 is a famous building in Taiwan. It has 101 floors. Taipei 101 is a famous building in Taiwan. It has 101 floors. Plant. Plant. Sebastian put a lot of plants and flowers in his garden. Sebastian put a lot of plants and flowers in his garden. Cover. Cover. Many pictures cover the walls of Gretchen's bedroom. Many pictures cover the walls of Gretchen's bedroom. Polite. Polite. Polite people say please and thank you when they talk to others. Polite people say please and thank you when they talk to others.
认识字汇
Lean. Breeze.